Hey everyone, it's Chris from Vile Gorilla. I've just got back from the midnight screening of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. It's about 20 to 4 in the morning over here in Australia. So forgive me if I'm sounding a bit tired and a bit unenthusiastic. But to tell you the truth, I did enjoy the movie. Look, it started off, it went gangbusters, started off really awesome, like some really good dogfights with the Millennium Falcon and TIE fighters and stuff like that. Then it went all through the sort of Rey and Kylo story, and that was good enough. This movie totally shits all over The Last Jedi, number 8. I mean, when you look back at this, you don't even have to watch number 8. You probably only have to watch 7 and 9 to really enjoy this final trilogy, if it can be called that. But yeah, it was really good until probably the last for 10 or 15 minutes. There was a point where it was really good, and then it went sharply downhill. And when you go and see this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. They bent the knee to the Reylo fans, and there was a collective groan through the cinema. The consensus of everyone walking out of the film was, it was decent, but it went downhill after that. So it was look, it was enjoyable. I took a couple of Valiums before I went in and enjoyed myself. It was... I felt they didn't need to introduce some new planets. They could have used planets that were known before, even from Rogue One to other planets that we've seen in the systems like Naboo and stuff like that. They could have used more of that sort of planets. They didn't have to make up these new planets like the sidetrack to Poe's old girlfriend's planet. But overall, it was an enjoyable experience. And look, if you are a Star Wars fan, and if you've been a long-term Star Wars fan, go see this movie in the theaters. Hey, don't be one of those ass clowns that I'm not giving Disney my money. Fuck them. This is a decent movie. This is a good Star Wars movie. Look, it's not as good as what we're getting from The Mandalorian, but it is decent. J.J. Abrams has totally taken a big dump all over Rian Johnson's Episode 8, The Last Jedi. He totally answers all the questions with what seems like in about the first 20 or 30 minutes. He answers all the questions, ties up all the loose ends, basically kicks Rian Johnson in the balls with his, did I subvert your expectations? J.J. Abrams comes out, does some great fan service, answers all the questions, and then we go on with the movie from there. They even rebuild the Kylo Ren mask that was smashed. We get the Knights of Ren, which was pretty cool. We get to see a few, new planets, new species and stuff like that. So look, it is a good movie. Go see it in the cinemas. Don't be one of those people. Don't be swayed by someone else's other opinion. From a few other channels that are like, oh no, don't go and see. Go and see the movie. Hey, I'm not telling you how to spend your money, but go and see it. Just as a general fan, as a Star Wars fan, go and see it on the big screen. Don't wait to pirate it off some weird site, for some Russian bots. Go see it at the movies. It's worth seeing at the movies. There's a big space battle at the end. Not the best space battle we've seen. So basically, if I can equate it to wrestling, like the Return of the Jedi was a nice planned out 5-star match, whereas this space battle is a bit of a cluster. So, but it's still worth watching, you know. There's still some good moments in it and stuff like that. Go see it just for Billy D. Williams. Go see it for Carrie Fisher. Go see it for Mark Hamill. And there's a couple of other cameos in there, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's worth seeing it for that. Like, you know, you can hear it in my voice. I was like, got a bit emotional when they were back on camera. And, you know, there was some good, like even vocal cameos, voice cameos in there as well. So go see it. Don't be one of those people who are like, oh, The Last Jedi sucks, so I'm not going to see this movie. This is a whole different movie. J.J. Abrams basically kicks Rian Johnson in the balls for what he did to Star Wars, what he did to the fandom by dividing it 50-50 like that. J.J. Abrams does his very best to reunite the fans, does some great fan service. It's really enjoyable to watch. I always thought I'd judge this on how good the movie was if I was going to see it in the cinemas again. And I will probably go and see this movie, you know, maybe one or two other times when it quietens down a bit. But I think what this really defined is a big call for Kathleen Kennedy's termination and someone else to take her spot. You know, she basically had to beg J.J. Abrams to come back. He didn't want to come back. It was a one and done Force Awakens and Rian Johnson. And it really shows they had no plan. There was all this like tying up of ends and kicking Rian Johnson in the balls in the first 30 minutes, which was great to watch. As a Star Wars fan who was really put off by The Last Jedi, that was great to watch. So, you know, I could be rambling, but it's like almost 4 a.m. here. I can hardly keep my eyes open. But yeah, this movie was decent. And all I can say is don't let Rian Johnson anywhere near Star Wars fandom. Terminate Kathleen Kennedy's presidency of Lucasfilm. Hire Jon Favreau. Hire Dave Filoni. Let's get Deborah Chow doing this Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. And let's really get the Star Wars momentum back up and going. And I think this was a step in the right direction by J.J. Abrams, you know, and the rest of the cast and crew. As the cast and crew said, they enjoyed knowing that J.J. Abrams was coming back because The Last Jedi must have been a slog. Oscar Isaac's come out and said there was negative energy on set. So they knew it was a bad film. You know, this movie was good up until about the last 15 minutes, and I'll let you find out when it goes downhill. And there's a scene, and it could have done without it, and it probably would have made the movie that much better if they didn't do it. And I did an earlier video on it, so you might know what I'm talking about. But it could have done without it, and that would have made the whole movie just that much more enjoyable. But yeah, definitely go see this movie. If you're a Star Wars fan and you're sitting there on the fence or sitting there being an edgelord thinking, no, I won't go and see this, I'm not going to give Disney their money, then go see it in like about the 3rd or 4th week when you're giving most of the money to your local cinema and not to Disney. But still go and see this movie on the big screen because it's worth it. But anyway, it's almost 4 a.m. I'm going to get some sleep, and we'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy.